Good morning, viewers, and welcome to the series of devotion for this week. This week we'll be looking example of justification, and we'll use Abraham as the main character. We'll be using Romans chapter 4, verse 1 through 25. Today being Monday, we'll cover Romans chapter 4, verse 1 to 4. And our topic will be faith for justification. In this passage, we see that the Jews were proud because they are descendants of a great man, Abraham. Here Paul uses Abraham as a good example of someone who was saved by faith rather justified by faith. By emphasizing faith as a means to justification, Paul is not saying that God's law is not important. For in verse 13, Paul explained that it was not through law that Abraham and his offspring received the promise that he would be heirs of the world, but through the righteousness that comes by faith. Abraham, in his time, just like any one of us, did good things before the Lord. But if he was justified by good work, then he would have a reason to boast. Abraham would pat himself on the back for earning a righteousness standing before God, But Paul, in Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 9, explained clearly that not by works, so no one can boast. In verse 3, it is clear that Abraham believed in the Lord, and God credited righteousness to his account. Genesis chapter 15 and verse 6. He was counted righteous before God. In other words, Abraham was justified by faith minus work. It is as simple as that. Good works has nothing to do with it. In verse 4, to demonstrate justification is by faith, Paul gives example of an employee that when a man works, his wages are not credited to him as a gift, but as an obligation. However, to the man who does not work, but trusts God, who justifies the wicked, his faith is credited as righteousness. In Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8 through 10, we are reminded that we are saved by grace through faith. No material contribution on our side is needed. It is a free gift of God to mankind, not by works, so no one can boast about it. We must humble ourselves and be grateful whenever we hear the story of our salvation. We did not earn it. It is the gift of God. For what we call our righteousness deeds are nothing but filthy rags before the Lord. Isaiah chapter 64 and verse 6. So, brethren, this morning, we can only turn to the righteousness of Jesus Christ that is acceptable before God for our justification. Amen.